thank you very much for joining us. We are celebrating 40 years of Aga Khan Foundation Canada. I want to know how you first got involved with the walk, like the World Partnership Walks, and AKFC. So how'd you get involved?
Sure. So I've been involved with the partnership walk probably since I could walk myself. I've
Great.
been a fundraiser on a family team, a corporate team, a school team, and every year without fail, I also volunteer on walk day, no matter what city I'm living in. I also worked with AKFC in corporate engagement for a few years, so that allowed me to engage workplaces kind of in the spirit of the walk, and then to also get them involved in the tremendous work that AKFC is undertaking overseas.
And then, so I want to talk to you about this youth fellowship that you have now taken, that you finished. Where were you based at with this youth fellowship? Actually, before we start that, what is the youth fellowship? Break that down for us. Tell me what that is, and then tell me where they sent you.
For sure. So the fellowship is an opportunity for young Canadians from various backgrounds to travel and live overseas, usually in a developing country, working for one of the agencies within the AKDN or a similar organization. And it's this incredible immersive experience that really allows you to connect with locals, to have an impact on the country that you're living in, but simultaneously grow professionally and personally. And so for me, I had reached a point in my career in international development where I was very eager to move overseas and to kind of roll up my sleeves and be working out in the field, if you will.
Right.
And I was placed in Bishkek, which is the capital city of Kyrgyzstan in Central Asia. So somewhere I never thought I would travel to, let alone live in.
Did you have a choice? Like, were there like a list of things like, oh, okay, Tia, you can go here, 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 and then you chose that, or did
Yeah,
they
so
just
what
said,
they
this is where you're going, bye?
pretty much, you are able to kind of rank all of the possible countries. You're able to kind of rank what kind of work you want to engage in. And then based on your skill set and your background and all of those preferences, they kind of place you somewhere in the world. So never thought I would be in Central Asia, but it was the most incredible experience. And in fact, I ended up extending my time there and staying for a full year.
Can you tell me a little bit about the experience? Give me an anecdote or something that might have stuck with you from your time there, like one cool thing.
Yeah, I think it was the biggest thing that stuck with me was working alongside such passionate and selfless people. And that's kind of what pushes me and that's what inspires me is being able to see firsthand those people who work tirelessly and wholeheartedly to get the job done and are so passionate about what they do. So I feel like that's kind of what inspired me and then also being able to meet a lot of those that are benefiting from some of the programs that AKFC and other agencies in the AKDN are implementing.
What's some of the work that you got a chance to either take part in or got a chance to witness?
So I was placed with the University of Central Asia, which is a relatively new non-for-profit, essentially, higher education institution in Central Asia. And there are a few campuses now, but they're in remote, very mountainous regions, and they're meant to serve these brilliant students that live in essentially the middle of nowhere. So it was incredible to be able to meet some of these students that have so much potential and have this thirst for knowledge and this idea that they want to better themselves, to educate themselves, to ultimately then go back to the communities where they grew up and have an impact on their communities and improve the livelihoods of their neighbors and their families.
Um, I've not been involved in the walk, but I was walking before I actually did the walk, so a little older than you. But what I find really fascinating is that is that you went there and you saw the work firsthand. So as someone who has been volunteering at the walk and taking part in every city that you've been living in, and engaging in like the local events that happen in the Canadian cities that you've lived in, what was it like to actually go and then just like, did you make that correlation where you're like, oh my God, this is the raising all this money, and then this is it, this is what's happening?
Yeah, I think it's really easy to see hardship on the news and to feel sadness and sympathetic towards other people's struggles. But I think through my work with the World Partnership Walk, with AKFC, and through the fellowship, I've learned that we can make a difference from right here at home in Canada. And I believe that there's such a responsibility that we all have as global citizens to take care of one another. That's something that I find so powerful. So being able to participate in the fellowship, be able to meet a young girl or a family or visit a community that's benefiting from the work that AKFC is undertaking with the support of everyday Canadians is so impactful. And I think that a lot of the time we feel that what the work we're doing doesn't make a difference overall in the grand scheme of things, or that global issues are so beyond the ability to fix them. But when you meet someone by name and face to face and learn about their story and the impact that the work AKFC is undertaking is having on their lives, it really ignites a spark in you and keeps you going. And it's incredible to be able to then share those stories with Canadians to inspire them as well.
Love that. That's great. Thank you for sharing that. Um, I know right now is a bit of a bizarre time, because it's challenging what we're seeing happening in the world. But you're sharing some exciting anecdotes, and your experience is enlightening. What will you say to people, or rather young people, who might want to follow your journey and take part in this fellowship, but also like who don't necessarily know where to start, or even why to start? Like, what would you say to them?
Right. So it's really my hope that more people find a place in their lives and in their hearts to take that first step to make a difference in the world. And I touched a little bit on the fact that these global issues are so widespread. And so sometimes we feel disheartened, like we can't make a difference. But whether it's, raising awareness about an issue you're passionate about, or engaging in dialogue and discussion about one of these issues, whether it's, writing to a member of parliament to discuss something, or fundraising or volunteering at the World Partnership Walk, I think it's really important to take those first small steps. And witnessing firsthand the impact this is having in developing countries has made me realize that Canadians really have a part to play, and no step is too small to have an impact. You need to start somewhere. So those are some of the small things that you can do and build off of to really make a difference in the world and in the lives of those that live halfway across the globe.
I know I'm going to just ask you this, and then we can edit this. We can edit this out if this is if it's not good. But I'm curious. Do you have a specific example of something that you might have seen in Central Asia, like a program that was being done, like something in the community, or something with like a group of people, just something like a program, or one of the initiatives that you saw, or that you experienced?
I might actually change the question a little bit if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I I had the opportunity, I think in 2016, to visit some of the AKFC projects in Tanzania and in Mozambique.
Okay.
And so I think witnessing some of those programs and traveling and meeting and working in different communities really had an impact on me. So I think one story in particular is this savings group in Mozambique. And in this community, essentially, it's a gathering of the elders who set aside a certain amount of money every week, and they put it into this locked box. And it's kind of this amalgamation of funds that they then use if there's a situation in the community that needs to be dealt with. So, someone's crops don't grow one year, or there's a funeral in the family, or there's a drought, for example. And it's like, it's incredible to see kind of the connection and strength within this community and how all of them have been saving, kind of like having a bank in their own village or in their own community that supports those that are struggling amongst themselves. And so that was pretty incredible to see and witness, and to know that programs like that exist.
I like that. Cool. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for changing the question. So with the experience that you have had with the fellowship, how has that now benefited you and what you're doing now?
So as much as I loved living overseas and working out in the field, I think it has really allowed me to come back to Canada and really find my place in the development sector. And what I'm really passionate about is being able to inspire Canadians. So though I'm working in international development, I have the ability and the good fortune to work in Canada and share the stories of those living overseas and benefiting from some of this development work with Canadians, and encouraging them to get involved and to help kind of ignite that spark in them.
Got that. And so how are you doing that though? Like how is that happening? Like what's going on right now in Ottawa? Like you're there. Are you able to find a platform to do that? Because I think it's exciting, the stuff that you did.
It is really exciting. I absolutely love what I get to do, and I get to meet everyday Canadians who remind me so much of myself. They want to have an impact and effectuate change in the world. And a lot of the time, people just don't know how to go about that. So I work for a nonprofit organization in fundraising. And so vehicles for change like the World Partnership Walk, and fundraising and raising awareness, and attending these types of community events is really what I encourage people to do, because I know firsthand the kind of impact that can have overseas. So
The work that we're doing here. So even though we're having a nice time, it's like we're playing around a golf, or we're going for a nice walk and having lunch in like May, early June, that gathering, you're seeing the firsthand work happen overseas.
Exactly. I think we don't realize how powerful the World Partnership Walk or the World Partnership Golf really is, and the impact that the awareness we're raising and the funds that we're raising are having. And I hope today, seeing some of the projects that are taking place in these developing countries has really given Canadians a glimpse of that. And so it's really nice to be able to share pictures and videos and the stories of families who are benefiting from this work with Canadians, whether that's through newsletters or social media, or exhibits like AKFC does. I think it's really exciting to be able to bring that to Canadians and kind of help them become the global citizens that they are.
Thank you very much, Attiya. I appreciate your time, and the experience really does sound like a once in a lifetime type of experience. And thank you for sharing those anecdotes with us and your thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. It was great chatting with you.
It's great chatting with you.